And then all the noise, noise. They'll bang on tong-tinglers, blow their foo-flounders, they'll crash on jang-jinglers, and bounce on boing-bounders. The approaching holidays mean it will soon be time to watch The Grinch, though some of us see the Grinch every time we look in a mirror. Among his many pre-transformation complaints about their Christmas celebration was the noise. Watching some of the holiday and everyday religious celebrations makes me wonder if God appreciates the noise made in the name of praise music. So today's Morning Minutes in the Bible on Throwback Thursday reaches back 50 years to an article that explores that question. Queries and Answers by Robert F. Turner from Plain Talk Magazine. Brother Turner, in view of 2 Chronicles 29 verses 25 through 36, Psalm 81 verses 1 through 5, and Amos 6 verse 5, was instrumental music under the law of Moses a commandment? If not, was it permissible? Was it condemned? Reply. Periodically, the question about David and the instruments comes to the surface to be rehashed. It is an excellent opportunity to show prejudices, as if special opportunity was needed, for there are some aspects of the problem that have no certain answer. It should be noted here that we are not subject to the law of Moses. Our worship must find its authority in the New Testament of Christ. There is no evidence of mechanical instruments of music related to the Jewish tabernacle, nor to the institution of the various sacrifices or festivals. But some 450 years later, it seems instruments were common in certain phases of worship. With the coming of God's glory into the temple which Solomon built, there was great instrumentation. Adam Clarke, opposed to such music in the church, says, cymbals, psalteries, and harps of any kind, in union with 120 trumpets or horns, could not produce much harmony. As to melody, that must have been impossible, as the noise was too great. 2 Chronicles 5 verses 12 and following. But even Clarke must admit that instrumental music was there. Concerning the authority for such, Clarke cites the Syriac and Arabic text on 2 Chronicles 29:25 and says, it was by the hand or commandment of the Lord and his prophets that the Levites should praise the Lord, for so the Hebrew text may be understood. And it was by the order of David that so many instruments of music should be introduced into the divine service. I cannot verify such texts. The Hardeman-Boswell debate has an interesting exchange on this. Hardeman did not deny instruments in Solomon's and Zerubbabel's temple, but argued there was no such evidence for such in the temple built by Herod. Psalm 81 verses 1 through 5 says the feast day is a statute for Israel, appointed in Joseph, commemorating deliverance from bondage, the Passover. Amos 6:5 is not, in my judgment, a woe pronounced on the instruments per se, nor did David invent the first instrument, Genesis 4:21, etc. This passage condemns the at ease in Zion attitude that prevailed despite God's obvious warnings. Note chapter 5 verses 21 and following. God hated even their Solomon assemblies, etc., done without justice and righteousness. We cannot go to David or to Jewish worship under Judaism for authority for New Testament church worship. If temple worship authorizes harps, it also authorizes animal sacrifice and a priestly system. But both priesthood and law are changed, Hebrews 7 verse 12. And we find authority for religious service in the New Covenant. There we are taught by command and example to sing, making melody in your heart to the Lord, Ephesians 5:19 and 1 Corinthians 14 verse 15. We have no authority to play, period. Well, is Robert being the Grinch or drawing a legitimate conclusion with respect to modern worship music? I wouldn't have quoted him if I didn't agree, but don't just take my word or Robert's as the answer. You need to study it out for yourself. Thank you for watching Morning Minutes in the Bible on Throwback Thursday. Until next time, this is James McClenny hoping you have a great day.